The definitions of working class and middle class and upper class are so difficult to establish in today's world. Many people in the upper class are really middle class insofar as they are aspiring. And if we base the definitions on household income, uh, well, there is a rule of thumb that anybody who is earning 30,000 and living on their own possibly is middle class. Anybody who is who has a two-person accommodation would need to be earning about 42,000 and upwards. But that's a rule of thumb. The old definition is that working class was somebody who was involved in manual labour, and the middle class would be somebody who is involved in some sort of office job or something of that. But it doesn't work anymore. These distinctions are no longer functioning because in the West particularly, the level of education has made most people aspirational. Now, of course, working in education and working in the theatre, I must confess that my income has rarely peaked above 30,000 in a year, and I have a household with more than one adult. So, from that definition, I would be working class, but I don't feel that that's how I would define myself. So I would love somebody to get back to me because the Lee Anderson thing worries me. It worries me that somebody who is on such a huge salary can claim, so pontificate about being working class and from the red wall. This is a nonsense distinction. And I think instead what we need to do is focus on politicians who are interested in supporting people from any background, and who are the voice of people from any background. I think this very spurious definition. Many people come from a background which would have involved, most of us come from a background which would have involved manual labour. Whether that's our parents or our grandparents or our great grandparents. My great great grandfather, I believe, came to the UK in a barrel. I don't know whether that barrel was on a boat or whether he was paddling it like some sort of character out of Edward Lear. But I don't think he was a skilled office worker. And so on. And many of us, of course, have an immigrant background as well, if we go back far enough. We can go back to 1066, and probably everybody has an immigrant background in Britain. The idea of defining people by how much they earn or defining people by what job they do is not sufficient. We must define people by their potential and by their aspiration, by their hopes. And those hopes may be as simple as wanting to own a car, wanting to own a home, wanting to take control of their lives. And that's good. That's good. But defining people by how much they earn is fairly condescending because it changes.